Hello again, YouTube! This is Dr. Kendo, and I'm here with Move or Die mods. Of course, I've been calling this Move or Die Day Friday. You can see on screen who we've created. It's the Bulbasaur Evolution, Venusaur, Ivysaur, Bulbasaur, and this is crazy because these characters all have 4 legs, and so, how do you do that in Move or Die? Well, you have to combine, you can do it multiple ways, I guess I should say. You have to kind of combine the way that I did it, having 2 legs in both of the leg slots. So you guys know often I start off with the source character of Brains from Move or Die, but pretty much, I should say all of the Move or Die characters that come into the game by default that you can use to edit, they all have 2 legs, and the leg slots are pretty tiny, the space for their legs. It's a pretty small space. So to include something like Venusaur, for example, we had to do a lot of editing. We'll get to that in just a little bit on the, when I go over the Photoshop files and things. There was a case of Ivysaur actually using that spring right there. I have just won the match, which is good news for me, but if you saw that spring right to where we kind of zoomed in at the end right here, Ivysaur was just springing up and down, up and down, up and down, and if you don't get back on the ground and move a little bit, you will die, because the spring does not count as movement in your life draining, so you will lose your life if you keep on springing. But here we'll play another round, and I'll actually show you, since there was a slot open, we only created 3 mods, I will kind of give you a glimpse into what we're gonna do next. So for next episode, since we did have a week off, I was in PAX East last weekend, so we couldn't do it on Friday last week. That would have been Friday, April 22nd. And Move or Die was actually at PAX East, which was great, and I met the creator for the first time in person. He and I have, of course, spoken a few times via email, and he contacted me when he wanted to put me into the game. So, of course, my head is a playable Easter egg character in this game. If you just type DRKENDO at that beginning menu, just right from the start, you can play as the Dr. Kendo head, and they did have all of the YouTuber heads playable at PAX East. So they had just unlocked all of them and put it in the little demo game there at PAX East in the booth. And so I actually did often meander over to the booth and see that people were playing as my head. So I am just so honored. Thank you very much for playing as my head if you were in PAX East doing that. That's pretty awesome. And I've just won again, so this is great. I mean, it's low stakes. This is just a local multiplayer mode, of course, because you cannot use character mods in the online game modes or in the daily challenge. So please be sure if you've subscribed and downloaded a mod that you're not confusing yourself trying to use them in those modes. But anyway, I'm still holding out for them to ask me to be an announcer in Move or Die, because they just added a new announcer to the game, and they need to ask me. I think it would be fantastic. But anyway, we've got the Photoshop files here. Of course, as I mentioned before, I started off with the source character of Brains. If you do want to know how to mod and all that stuff, like where specifically to find the files and whatnot, they have it all on their website. So I just go over how I did the Photoshopping right here. But I actually had to take Venusaur's back leg and draw it in myself. So if you notice to our left, kind of on Venusaur's right side, that leg is very close to the other leg. That's because it was drawn in. So that's actually not how the kind of original artwork of that Venusaur was designed or looked like. And so then we've got Ivysaur, and one thing you'll notice about Ivysaur, especially on this kind of foot right here, or these 2 legs, 2 feet, they are very kind of small, i.e. there's not a lot of stuff drawn in right now, and so what I've done is I'm actually showing you kind of a process that you can do to fix this a little bit, because otherwise it'll show up like he has a gap in his legs maybe while he's kind of tap dancing, at the beginning that they do. They just stomp up and down. Well, you just take the little eyedropper and kind of mimic the color that's already there, and then just use the paintbrush and color it up a little bit further on up the leg. So in case you were curious, that's something you can do if you ever have your mods where the leg doesn't look attached to the body when they're moving up and down. I don't know, maybe that's helpful, maybe that's obvious, maybe it's not. I am just telling you. But that'll certainly help for our Ivysaur, so we can kind of move on from that and show off the Bulbasaur right here. So this is the Bulbasaur creation, and again, sort of the same principle. You can see that the legs are actually 2 legs to 1 little leg slot of Brains' legs. You can actually see 2 Bulbasaur legs within that 1 Brains leg. So hopefully that makes sense and can show you how to create some 4-legged things, but of course that will mean that the legs are going to be pretty small. To fit 2 legs into 1 leg slot, it's going to make them pretty small. So that means that your character is going to have to be small, or, just the main part of your character, or like the legs are going to have to be really close together, or you'll just have to accept that they may not match up entirely, and that's actually what my Bulbasaur, that was one of the first mods that I made, so my Bulbasaur mod, maybe I have a little bit more skill now, and I think I would change it up just a slight bit to make it match more, but I already released it on Steam Workshop. All has been said and done. I've shown it before. So anyway, if you're watching this today, Friday, April 29th, the day that it was uploaded and recorded, be looking this afternoon or evening for the new update. There's going to be a new Viewers versus Streamers Move or Die update. You can see it on dkcgaming.com right now. That's my website where you can go read up a little bit more on what it's going to look like, what it's going to do, or if the update is already available, maybe you've already started playing it, but this means that certainly I'm going to have to do a stream. So there will be a future live stream. Make sure you've joined the Steam Kendopolis group. It's called Kendopolis. It's a Steam group, and that's often where I will schedule live stream play sessions where we can all play some game together. So Move or Die definitely should be there, and you, even if you are not playing the game, you'll be able to Twitch chat and affect how the game goes. Again, go read up on it on dkcgaming.com. So I will catch you on the next vid, and thanks for viewing. And then I busted through some walls, and I walked the burning coal as the acid rain falls. Do others do this too, or have I been called upon? If I could see you here with me, I would say come on. Flames are still alright.